right, you guys need a minute or all set?
I think we're all set.
Okay, stand by. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, June 15th, 2026 meeting of the Long Meadow Select Board. We have previously opened and had executive session, so I will, oops, I spoke too soon. I need to pull up my script. This is Select Board Chair Josh Levine. I will be confirming that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Dan Zwerko.
Here.
Benithe Mavathi.
Here.
Andrew Lamb.
Here.
Shelley Maynard Duell.
Here.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Lynn Simmons.
Here.
Mike Barbieri.
Here.
Peggy Sheldon. Oh, sorry. This open meeting of the Long Meadow Select Board is convened in person and via Zoom webinar as posted on the agenda and town's website identifying how the public may join. There is no chat or Q&A function. All of the materials for this meeting are available on the agenda posted on longmeadowma.gov. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. This meeting will feature resident comment. For residents attending the meeting in person, please raise your hand when we get to the comment section of the meeting and I will call on you to approach the microphone. For residents participating in the meeting via Zoom webinar format, please use the raise hand icon at the bottom of the screen. The meeting moderator will promote you to panelist, unmute you, and give you permission to speak. If you join the webinar by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand and *6 to mute, unmute. Residents who wish to speak will identify their names and addresses only. Each individual is afforded 3 minutes for comments. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. If anyone in attendance is recording this meeting, please announce yourself now. All right, seeing none, we'll move to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we move on to my favorite thing on the agenda tonight, the Select Board reorganization. I would like to go against my normal habit of not making a motion, but I will move that we elect Dan Zwerko as chair.
Second.
All right, for further comments, Dan, this will be your 5th year, I think?
Going into my 5th, yeah.
So you're an old hand at this. I think you would do, you've served as vice chair before, and I think it's, get in there, and I got the seat warm for you, so I think you do a great job with this. And it's, as I say when anyone is becoming chair, it's a great way to see how the sausage is made. You have a very good and different relationship with the town manager's office, and just people in general, and I think you already excel at that, so I think this will be a good fit for you. So if you will accept, I think that would be great.
Thank you, yeah. I certainly accept. Obviously, we have to take a vote, but yeah, this definitely wasn't on my bingo card. I was a kid growing up in town, going to center school, and through the school system, I see former teachers here, police officers here. Yeah, it's just been quite an honor to serve the community that I grew up in, and yeah, I mean, I love Long Meadow, and I think we all do as well, and we want to make sure that we continue to make Long Meadow a great place to work, live, raise a family, and it's quite an honor to be on this board and serve hopefully as your chairperson for the next year. And it's been just an honor to serve with all of you and learn from you, and Josh especially. Over the past year or so, you've dealt with so much with the school and just a lot of other issues, and you've stepped up, over the past 4 years since I've been on the board. So thank you for all that you've done, and I appreciate nominating me.
Anything else? I'll move on to voice vote. All those in favor? And vote, I suppose. Okay, by vote.
I'll make a motion to nominate Shelley Maynard DeWolf as vice chair.
Do you want a second, Shelley?
Second?
Well, Dan, I think you're chair, so
Oh.
if you want to conduct the vote.
All right, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye. I guess it's not a voice vote, it's a hand vote. I don't know
Hand
why I
vote,
said
okay.
that.
4, yeah, 5-0.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to nominate clerk?
Nominate Andrew Lamb as clerk.
Second? All those in favor?
All right, Dan, you want to move over?
All right. I can just see the relief from Josh's face.
Oh, man. I like the angle over here.
All right, so we'll move to the next part on the agenda, select board regular meeting announcements. Board and committees, interviews for board and committee annual appointments, reappointments will be held throughout this summer. Residents who are interested in learning more on specific committees or current vacant positions can visit the board and committee page at www.longmeadowma.gov. An online application is also available on this page. Town offices holiday schedule. The Town of Longmeadow municipal offices will be closed on Friday, June 19th, 2026 in observance of Juneteenth, and on Friday, July 3rd, 2026 in observance of Independence Day. The Select Board summer meeting schedule. The Select Board will have a reduced meeting schedule for this summer and will meet next on July 20th and August 17th. The board will resume with their regular schedule meetings in September. And now we'll move on to resident comments. Does anyone here have any comments? Anyone online?
Nope.
All right. Next, we will go to kudos and plaudits. The 2026 Municipal Clerk's Honor Roll. We would like to congratulate Assistant Town Clerk Stacy Martin on being named to the 2026 Municipal Clerk's Honor Roll. The Municipal Clerk's Honor Roll is a special program presented by General Code since 2001. In its 26th year, the program has given thousands of municipal officials and private citizens a chance to recognize clerks from across the country for the important work that they do for their communities. Assistant Clerk Martin is one of the 18 clerks from across the Commonwealth to receive this recognition in 2026 and receive multiple nominations for this honor. Thank you again for your devoted work serving our community. Congratulations. Does anyone else have any kudos or plaudits? Josh?
I just wanted to thank the Historical Society and the Rev 250 Committee for putting on the time capsule bearing event on Saturday. It was a very hot day, but it was really well attended. And Andrew gave a fantastic keynote presentation where it was very rousing, and I really enjoyed it. And it was gave a lot of context to our town and what it means for us to be here, able to celebrate this momentous year for the country. And it was a fantastic event. And then I hope I don't miss anything, but we did Longmeadow lacrosse. Dan, I'm sure you wanted to mention this, but I like, now that I'm in this seat, I like to get ahead of you. The 22nd state title for boys lacrosse, just an incredible run, and really a storied franchise that it was very exciting to see that happen again. And then the boys track team won the Western Mass Division I title, which is really exciting. And baseball and softball both had really fantastic runs. I was getting play-by-play from my friend on his son's on the baseball team, a lot of one-run victories and lost in the semis. And then softball made a great run as well. So congratulations to everyone, and I'm very proud of our athletes as always.
Thanks, Josh.
Mine's somewhat of a ditto. I wanted to recognize the Historical Commission and Andrew and Josh for your roles on Saturday. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go, but I did hear from folks that it was really good. So wanted to thank you both and thank everybody who helped with the time capsule.
I'll jump on the bandwagon. I agree. I was also going to say it was a really special event, and a great deal of thanks to not only the Historical Society and the Revolution 250 Committee, but also a handful of really dedicated volunteers who literally vetted and packaged over 300 contributions to this time capsule. And they did a lot of that because we found out that East Longmeadow opened a time capsule that had water damage because I think a tree root infiltrated their time capsule from 1976. And so our team went to the extenuating effort of literally waterproofing every contribution with not just Ziploc bags, but some sort of special bag. So it was a ton of work, and it went really well. And also want to thank the DPW for coming out on a weekend to help. That was very helpful as well. And so yeah, I was very happy that we had that event. And I also want to thank Josh, just to take a moment for actually, in addition to being the MC, but really for being the chair last year. I thought you did an amazing job. I always appreciated your diligence, your openness to ideas, your availability to me, and I'm sure everybody else. So thank you, Josh.
And to that, Andrew, on the 250th event, I was unable to attend, but I had heard, and I just wanted to thank the first responders who acted very quickly, helping out a young girl who had a medical issue. So thank you for that, and I hope she continues to recover well. All right. I do see the chief here, and I was wondering if perhaps we could move the chief up so he's not stuck here until midnight. I guess we
So I'll move the agenda item of under old business B, ratification of police chief contract FY 2027 through 2030 to be discussed now.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, Lynn, I'll pass this to you, please.
Thank you. Here tonight you have a renewal of Chief Stocks' police contract. Current contract expires the end of this month. The new contract will carry us through fiscal through June of 2029. I believe that's right. And so this is be a successor three-year contract. The full contract itself will be posted on the town website with the updates to it. The bulk of the contract just revolves around cost of living assessments and some cleaned up language just in terms of what's retirement eligible. And yeah, there was not a great deal of major changes needed. The contract itself was fairly new, and when Chief Stocks came on board, it had been vetted by both our council and the Council for the Police Chiefs Association, so it was in pretty good shape. It primarily just revolved around financial benefits.
Thanks, Lynn. And just for the thousands of people watching at home right now, it was, I want to thank Lynn for all of your work that you've done. What happens is Lynn will meet with the chief of police and handle all the negotiations and brings the information to us. And I think I speak for the board when everyone speaks very highly of you, Chief, and everything that you've done throughout your long standing career here in Longmeadow, and we're really excited that you wanted to continue that career here with Longmeadow, and just really want to say thank you for everything that you do. You're a great role model for the men and women that serve our community, and I just wanted to really say thank you and congratulations for being stuck with us for a few more years.
Oh, thank you. If I may, I just want to thank the board actually for your consideration. I really couldn't have it better right now. Town manager has been fantastic to work with, as you guys know. I think I don't think anyone on the board was serving when I first became chief, which really makes me feel old. But you know, at the risk of sounding a little corny, I've poured everything into my career here in Long Meadow. We're approaching 29 years with the department, completing 6 years as chief of police, and I'm very excited to get another contract, another 3 years in front of me. It's quite a bit I still want to do for the department, for the town, and I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. And please, as always, keep me posted if there's something that we're not doing that you guys need us to do or want us to do. Let me know. That's kind of been my mantra all along, is just let me know what you need and I'll get it done if I can. So again, I just want to thank everyone for your time, your consideration. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, not too much more to add to what Dan said, but just to say that, you know, we hear from surrounding communities all the time about how lucky we are to have you as our chief, and I think that that's exactly right. We feel very lucky to have you in this role. You've been with us in Long Meadow for a very long time, and you know, this was great for us to hear that we were able to come to this agreement with you so you can continue your work here, and you know, you have our full confidence, you know, the full confidence of the police department, and I just want to say congratulations and thank you for everything you do for our town.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So go ahead.
No, good.
So I will move to ratify the police chief contract from FY 2027 through FY 2030.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. Do I have to call? I have to call out the. Okay.
I'll just stay there.
All those in favor? All right. Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now move on to interviews and appointments. First up, we'll have Andrea Chasen. Hi, Andrea. How are you? Just
Andrea Chasen, 236 Crestview Circle, and I'm here for reappointment to the Conservation Commission. I don't know how long I've served on it, but it's been at least 9 years already. It's hard to know, time really rushes by.
And one of the things that we're not here to have difficult questions for you, but just want to kind of get in. First of all, thank you for your service, many years serving, and we just want to kind of get an idea of why you're seeking reappointment, and just tell us a little bit more about that would be helpful.
I'm excited to tell you. First of all, the Conservation Commission has been a lot more active in overseeing and managing the conservation property that we have here in town, and I've been part of moving that forward. We're going to be working more closely with the meadows and the farmer, particularly around the way the land is treated, and that's something that we think is really important. And so I'd like to be part of the next set of discussions that are going to go into the renewal of the issuance and possible renewal of a lease for farming there. I'm also excited about the work that we're contemplating to create more wildflower meadows that will be insect pollinator friendly, that will also be helpful for education, for schools, for the general public, and my own personal hope, and nobody has promised anything about this. This is if I had a wish that Santa Claus was giving, it would be to figure out how we can open trails along the river in the meadows, connecting the riverfront conservation area down to Fanny Stebbins, and I'd like to be part of that discussion. That's what I hope to be working on over the next 3 years. I've also been heavily involved in the Earth Day cleanup, and I want to thank you, Dan, and everybody you do. But part of that is made me very much aware of the opportunity to educate the public about how to protect our property, and I want to continue being part of that. So I really like the people who are on the commission. So even though I hate the meetings, it's a good thing to do.
All right, well, I really appreciate you stepping up once again, and we will be voting at our next meeting.
Great, thank you so much.
much.
And I'm
I'm
staying
so-
around.
I'm sorry,
I did have one quick question. Have you been working with Parks and Rec or the Conservation Commission on talking about the trails or the farm?
That's something, I do reach out to the Parks and Rec, both to the chair and to Barry Weiss. I know that it's something that we need to be better at. That. I mean, the Parks and Rec has more oversight on the playing fields and the use of activities. But it's something that we should look into and figure out how we can, Laurel Bliss, how we can really connect and work around those areas that also are part of the open space, Turner Park. There's, for a small town, this town has a major attraction for lots of things, from the birding in the meadows to the playing in all the fields. And we have lots of opportunities to both enhance the property that we own and be better stewards of. So yeah, we really should work more closely with Parks and Rec. That's something that I would work with the Conservation Commission on. Great
Thank you.
question.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Andrea? Sorry, Josh, I was kind of skipping ahead by myself. Thank you, Andrea.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm staying around for another presentation, so I'm
All right, thank you.
hanging out. I'm sorry.
Next up,
Just a heads up, Michelle Keen Moore for reappointment for the Board of Health is also here. She was originally scheduled for a later date, but rescheduled to this time. So just at the end of the interviews that are on the schedule, Michelle Keen Moore is here as well.
awesome, thanks so much. And Ms. DeLong? If you could just say your name and address, please, before we get into it.
Judy DeLong, 100 Arlington Road in Long Meadow.
Thank you. And what brings you here today in terms of what you're seeking and why you're seeking another term?
Another term, right. I've had one term. I'm just finishing 3 years on the Council on Aging. And for the last 2 years, I've been secretary of the Council on Aging and very involved in it. I think it's a great committee. I'm enthusiastic about everything that we do. I'm proud of the work that we've done. And I think the number of people that attend the events at the Adult Center is proof that things that we're doing there are working and are successful.
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. There's you
Yeah.
drive by and you see the whole lot full of
Yeah.
people that are there taking advantage. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for your service and continuing to want to serve as well. Any other questions from us? No?
Thank you. Keep
All
it
right.
up.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thanks.
And next we have Amy Block.
Hi, Amy Block, 6 Arlington Avenue.
And if you just want to give us a little background and what you're seeking and.
Sure, I am seeking reappointment to the Historical Commission. I have served a 3-year term and would like the opportunity to do more. Also, we've had a vacancy for a long period of time on the commission, and it felt very important to just reapply.
Absolutely, yeah.
To continue the projects that we're doing.
Any interesting projects in the pipeline?
Well, I would like to see us pursue the certified local government application. We started that, we had applied once, and it's something that we have reached out to the Historical District Commission on as well, because it takes the partnership between the two to apply. The goal is that if we were awarded that designation, then we would be able to access more funding for historical preservation, and organizations like the Historical Society would be able to access more funding as well.
Excellent. A town like Long Meadow likes to find ways to get more funding, so appreciate it. Any other questions? All right, we'll let you go.
right,
Thanks so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Liz Bone.
You'll note on the application, it's had a check mark under energy and also recycling. Energy, the term is not expiring, so it's just the recycling commission.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sorry, I was confused which one I was applying for.
Too many hats.
Yeah, right. Liz Bone, 34 Elizabeth Circle. I'm reapplying for Recycling Commission, and I just became chair of the Recycling Commission 2 months ago, or a month ago, so. I guess what we're working on right now, we just met with some department heads, and we discussed increasing recycling and and having better recycling practices within the town buildings. We're also compiling a spreadsheet of all the recycling and trash containers at all our parks and community spaces, so we can have a good way to keep track of it and also see what we need to add or subtract or purchase, I guess. Let's see. We just finished up getting the calendar out, finished editing it, I guess I should say. And let's see, and that's going to be going out through, or on our website this week, right? And we've also been talking about cardboard down at the DPW or at the recycling center, and the recycling bin distribution. So,
Excellent.
does anybody have any questions?
Any other questions? Thanks, Liz.
Nope.
I'm glad we're looking at the cardboard issue because that's something that's coming up
Yes, I saw.
quite often.
Yeah.
Even myself, I went down about a month ago, and I thought I went early enough, but apparently not. So.
Yeah. We've been discussing it and would like to continue discussions with the DPW and maybe you guys. So.
Great. Thanks so much, Liz. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Liz.
And Michelle Keen-Moore.
Hi, Michelle Keaton-Moore, 116 Brooks Road.
And if you'd just like to tell us what you're seeking appointment and just some of your background.
Sure. So I'm seeking to continue my position on the Board of Health. My background is I have my doctorate from the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. And I have also more recently been teaching at Western New England University in the Department of Biological and Physical Sciences for the past 15 years, and I've also been serving on Bay State's board that oversees clinical research for about the past 20 years as a volunteer. So,
excellent. Impressive resume. Very impressive. And I also just want to say thank you with everything that we had to go through with COVID, especially. And all the work that you've put in, as well as your colleagues. Thank you for that. Any other questions?
How are you finding your work with our new health director?
I think Ryan is great. He's enthusiastic. He has a really nice background. I think he is really tackling things. And I think we're very happy to act as a resource for him. And he's moving things ahead really nicely.
Great.
So,
That's the
yeah.
feedback we like to hear. Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much. And like I said, we'll be voting at our next meeting.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, applications, select board comments. Does anyone have any additional comments? No? Seeing none, oh.
I just have one. I just want to thank everyone who worked on getting the pools open. I saw, especially over this incredibly hot weekend, I saw kids walking through my neighborhood that I presume they were going to the pool. They were biking with their floaties on. But it's good to see it being used, and that we have that resource. So thank you to everyone who worked hard on getting it open.
Well said. We will now go to applications. So we have a liquor license amendment application from Royal Spice Incorporated. It's a change of manager application. Mike, I'll hand that over to you.
Yep, so on the Zoom right now, we have Attorney Rachel Fancy as well as Samjeet Prirath, who is, I believe, currently one of the owners of Royal Spice currently. So this is, I'll let Rachel speak from here, but it's a change of manager liquor license amendment application. I'm promoting Samjeet in now as well. Oh, I can't hear you.
Of the business, they had an employee who was acting as the license manager. That employee is looking to move on and go to a new job at this point. So we're looking to replace that license manager with someone who's going to have some more permanency. So a director and owner of the company would make sense. Other than that, there's going to be no operational changes. Mr. Baruch is ServSafe certified, and he's been in hospitality and food industry for over 15 years and has been involved with this business since its inception. It just makes sense at this time to transition the license manager over. We talked about it, I believe, earlier on, doing it while the application was going. We realized that this employee was not going to stick around the entire time, but it just didn't work out at that time, so now we're seeking to do so now, and hopefully we'll have the board's support to do so.
All right, thank you. Josh probably has some questions given with your legal background.
Yes, thank you very much for coming before us tonight. So I have not seen, I don't do as many manager change applications for restaurants. And so I did note on this one that your back of house as the chef, do you work with the wait staff or the bar? I guess my question is, do you have a separate bar staff, or are you working with people who are coming in and out of the back of the house all the time, so you have that interaction so you can keep an eye on things from the back?
I'll turn it over to my client, but I believe he's working not just as the chef, that's just his prior experience. He's sort of working all over the premises now, so the part owner and director.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, that answers my question.
That
Thank you.
distant? Mr. Brew?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so my primary things like I used to work as a chef, and right now I'm like supervising in the kitchen and taking care of all the restaurant operations. So I will be in the restaurant, like 7 days in a week, so to taking care of the operation, to supervise all the operations and everything. So apart from that, I have a bar waiter also working with me here in the restaurant. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So primarily supervision of the bar staff as well as the kitchen staff.
Yeah.
More on the operations side.
All right, that makes me feel better. That's great. You may have heard our spiel before, but in Longmeadow, we take it very seriously. Your duties as making sure that people are carded, that there's not people who are underage getting served alcohol, and as the manager, it's your responsibility. And if anything does happen, if there's a violation, you'll be in front of us. And we don't like having those meetings. We'd much rather have ones like this. There are sting operations, I'd say probably twice a year in town, where, and you do not want to get caught by that. The Longmeadow Police do them, as well as the state liquor board. So make sure that everyone is being carded, and don't assume, because you might get yourself in some trouble. We don't want to see you back here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Any other questions?
No.
All right, do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll move to approve the change of manager application submitted by Royal Spice Inc.
Second?
All those in favor? All right, congratulations and keep up the good work.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
All right, we will move to street closure applications.
All right, I will move to approve the Captain Road Block Party application for Friday, June 19th.
Second.
All in favor?
And I will move to approve the Center School Carnival Road closure application for Friday, September 25th.
Second.
Any other comments, questions?
I will not have any kids at Center School for the first time in 7 years. Sad.
That is sad. And so, again, all in favor?
And I will move to approve the Massachusetts State Police car seat install event application to close Long Meadow Street on June 28th, 2026.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, next up we have presentations, guest speakers. So we have a presentation, we have Andrea Chasen here. If you'd like to come back on up. And Liz as well.
So I'm joined by 2 members of my committee. And we'll introduce ourselves.
All right, so yeah, before we get started, name and address, please.
I'm Liz Bone, 34 Elizabeth Circle. I'm the clerk of the Energy and Sustainability.
Clerk, initial founder.
I don't know.
Andrea Chasen, 236 Crestview Circle, Chair of the Energy and Sustainability Committee.
Andrew Kaniska, 31 Northfield Road, member of the Energy and Sustainability Committee.
All right, thanks so much for coming tonight.
Okay. So tonight, there's a couple of purposes in our presentation. I'd like to focus a little bit on the specialized opt-in energy code, and as well as some work that we've been doing. So at this point, Liz and I will probably speak more to the specialized opt-in code. Andrew will speak to some of the other work that's going on that's important, that supports this. Mike, we have some material for us.
Now, Andrea, didn't this come up at town meeting, or you came in front of us similar, the stretch code? Or was it, I feel like this came in front of the board at one point previously.
We've come before the board to ask the board for support in helping the town adopt the specialized opt-in code a number of times. This is to give you a plan, an understanding of where we are now going forward, with the ultimate goal is that we would like this to be an article on the fall warrant. It puts us in a position of adding it to our climate action plan, along with some of the other things that we need to do that will allow us to apply to be a climate leader under the state's programs that will enable the town to apply for grants for energy efficiency, things for up to $1.15 million. Right now we're limited much more significantly as a green community. And this is something that we think would be a financial advantage to the town and wouldn't cost anything to any residents, which is important. So just to give you, that was kind of the goal and the benefits. What we've done to date, and Liz provided some information about what we've done to date. And I should say that one of the things that we're aware of, this town has been hit with so many things coming at it, in so many ways. from the Williams School, from water and sewer, from the municipal aggregation to the fiber. It's like, sometimes it feels like there's a lot of change happening, and we know that residents and businesses are probably reeling from all of the things that we keep asking to keep pushing us forward. So the greatest part of this work is education and outreach. And we know that that really needs to happen in a very constructive way. And to that point, we've done a great deal. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I did not include that sheet because you had talked about actions to date in yours.
Yeah,
But I will
we'll
talk
come
about
back.
it. We've had forums held to talk about the energy code. We did not have hardly any, actually, I don't think we had anybody come. We've handed out lots of flyers at the town meetings. We have a presence on our Facebook page and on our town website that we talk about it all the time. And we've worked with Paul Healy in the building department to educate the people coming in and also the contractors. He said there's has been really no chat about it from the contractors coming in. So I think we're in a good place, and I think if you see the flyer after we talk a little bit that I thought we could send out in the water bill and include it with a lot of information for the town meeting. It's pretty clear. I think a lot of people are just, are my taxes going to go up kind of talk, and this kind of clearly states no. So
we want to be really clear that there's no financial impact to 98% of the people living here in town. The specialized opt-in code impacts businesses. So, for example, the new business that's looking to be developed on the corner of Williams and
Redford.
Frank Smith, or whatever, I always get those confused. That would, under this, would be required to meet the goals of the specialized opt-in code. The good news is that the Williams School has adopted all of the aspects of the specialized opt-in code and received additional funding as a result of it. So there's money out there to help municipalities to ratchet up the work towards becoming carbon net zero, net emission, I always forget it, isn't it? Net zero emissions by 2050. Part of this is we're a green community, but we are already required to adopt the stretch code, which will keep moving forward. The specialized opt-in code adds some additional requirements for residences that are 4,000 square feet and over, 400.
No,
4,000.
4,000.
I'm so used to
Is that the
talking in
2%
trillions
you're
lately,
referring to?
4,000 doesn't
Yes,
seem like
only
a
new
lot.
construction over 4,000 square feet, and that's pretty big.
And we recognize that people are frightened that it's going to cost them if they do renovations in their homes. It's not. And one of the reasons why we want to work closely with Paul Healy and the Building Commission is that they're also reaching out, as Liz said, to the contractors, and they've started to include information on the permitting process. So they've already adapted that, which is important for contractors who will also be asked to educate people who are coming in to give proposals to. We know that one of the areas that we're going to be doing more outreach, we're using town events. So, for example, the Future Fiesta Festival, we had information about this and presented it. Most people, it just kind of goes over their head because they're not involved in it. We're going to have a better presentation for the Pride Fair, September 13th in Long Meadow. We're planning on a big display, and we're looking to develop more visuals for the town meeting to help do a presentation so that it will be pretty clear and hopefully combat misinformation that we know that goes around on every time there's a change. pretty clear that this is really not going to impact a town that's 98% built out with very little going on. I mean, when Glenbrook comes down and there's whatever we do with that, there may be an impact there, but that's years away. And by that point, the stretch code probably will have caught up to the specialized one and imposed some requirements on it. So at this point, we're working with you to ask you to support the work that we're doing. The planning board adopted the specialized opting code recommendations when they adopted the long-range plan, the climate change long-range plan 2 years ago. That's already in their rearview mirror, and as far as I understand, they also support this. I guess questions?
Do you want to see the?
Okay.
Do you want to see the other flyer, David?
Yeah.
I have some comments while we're waiting for that. So I do remember the public forum. I was the only person who came to it maybe a year and a half ago. And at the time, I did feel like education was crucial, but I see now that nobody really cares until there's like a vote, essentially. That happens over and over in our town. So I absolutely agree that education is important to tell people the pros and the cons of everything. But I think that it might just be like you have to put it on an article to know for people to care, you know? Nobody's really gonna pay attention to the pros and cons. So I don't remember, I remember taking notes, but at the meeting, I mean, there were some surprising things that came out about the details, and I think it would be great if you could send us like the actual specialized code so we know everything about it. But I remember I was taken aback by something that was said, that like you couldn't have gas stoves or something like that, and you had to have solar. It was like a requirement. I did appreciate clarification about, you know, it's not affecting renovations. And I don't remember the answer, but what % of the state is already doing the specialized code? Do you have any idea how many towns do it already? Because I remember thinking it wasn't a high number, but we were hoping that like it would be more. And I definitely remember Andrea and I talked about this at least 3 or 4 times at the time, and it was like emphasizing the grants was probably an important thing to explain to people as well. And obviously, the downside would only be if you felt like it would deter business development or something like that, you know, in the future. But like that's all the things that we need to kind of revisit and make sure everyone knows about.
If I can address the question of deterring business development, the last I looked, there were 92 communities, municipalities, cities around the state that have already adopted the specialized opt-in code. That's increased since I last looked, and I can get you the exact number. Most of those are in places where they're doing actual real business development as compared to we don't have much.
Right.
Hasn't deterred it.
Okay.
Because the state already has mandated goals to reach energy efficiency, and contractors throughout the state are supposed to be employing those goals. You can use gas, by the way, even under the specialized opt-in code, if you offset it with electrification capability.
Okay.
But going forward, as gas becomes more expensive and there's much more reliance on heat pumps and induction cooktops and things like that, and Andrew, he's my go-to guy on this one because he's our expert on what's happening with the electrification throughout the state. My personal guess is that businesses know if they want to be in business in 20 years, they're really going to be moving forward to really develop their property in a way that is going to be reflecting what the community needs are. I know Amherst, East Hampton, they have adopted the specialized opt-in code. Business development is booming there.
I think Josh had a follow-up.
A typo in specialized.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
The English major in me. But I don't think you don't need to convince us, I think. If we're, for better or worse, we're the people in town who pay the most attention to stuff. And if you, as soon as you tell us that the town can get money, we're probably in. And if it's not gonna cost us anything. But, you know, this isn't news to any of you, I'm sure. If you're trying to convince people at town meeting, the battle's already lost. You gotta, because the same people show up to every meeting. They don't like change. And if somebody gets up and says, I think this is gonna affect my renovation, doesn't matter what you say. You gotta get it out there before. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but you have to get new people to the meeting, because you have to offset the people who are gonna, we have, when we vote on who the trustees are of the Goldthwait Fund, 6 people vote no. There's people who vote no on literally everything. So you have to offset them, and you know, that's easier said than done, but you have to get a groundswell of people who say, yeah, this is a good idea. And I think if, to me, it's one thing to say we can get grants, but if you say, here's a grant that we could get, but we can't now because we don't have it, and here's how much it would be. Or if a business owner says, well, I want to do this to my building, but I can't, or if I put solar panels on, I get an extra $100,000 or something for one of our aging commercial buildings. If we have concrete examples, I think that's great, because it's very hard to understand things in the abstract. And so again, I know I'm not telling you anything, but, and I do also agree with Andrew that we just got to put it on and see what happens. Because it's, this is not a zoning bylaw, so we don't have to wait if it doesn't,
Yeah,
so-
if it's on and it fails, you could try again later, because that's already 92 out of 350 towns is already, I think if I recall, more than it was when we last talked a year or a year and a half ago. So I think that as more towns do it and more examples like what Josh is saying, like, hey, look at the grant they got, then it becomes, you know, the whole state is moving towards this. Already the stretch code, I remember that was one of the things that came up now. Like, the stretch code's already doing it, like some people, so, like, these are all really important things to bring up, but I don't think there's ever like this is the end for something like this, right? Like, but I also think, I really think nobody's gonna pay attention until it's on, until there's a vote to actually decide something.
And so, yeah, all the education and the support may come up in the last month and a half, but I think, so I got solar panels when I moved here. And so every month I get a check between $60 and $100 for my smart payments, which if you put on solar panels today, and Andrew, you know about this, you put on solar panels today, you don't get those payments, or it's much less.
Right.
That could happen to us here too. If we, this pot of money that the state may have, grants will run out. So if you wait, then it's too late. So.
I should also clarify that if the town adopts this in November, there's a 6-month grace period to ease in transition required under the state law. So it wouldn't become effective until 6 months after that. We can set the date for the adoption, for the implementation, once it's adopted.
Is there any time when it does affect the renovation, either commercial or residential?
Only if it's over 4,000 square feet, I think.
Yeah, there's some multifamily and
It says new
commercial.
construction, but that's, I'm sorry, go ahead, Leslie.
So multifamily and commercial, it would affect, but we don't really have that here. And it's only for new construction, this part, so residential.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if you're putting on 4,000 square feet on your house and you manage to find an additional lot in order to do that, because that's like building a second house on top of your house, it would have an impact on that. But
Well, good luck.
part of what you get when you do that, there, even though the federal government has cut back on incentives, the state's incentives are still there. And one of the things that Department of Energy Resources has done is shown what the actual out-of-pocket cost would be for somebody initially putting that together. But then you also have to, you're probably in a better place because you'll be saving money on your utilities, so there's a wash on some of that. I don't remember the exact amount, but I don't think there's many places in this town where somebody's adding 4,000 square feet to their home.
And just to clarify that, so it's not, if it puts your building over 4,000 feet, it doesn't kick in. It has to be 4,000 feet of 4,000 square feet of new construction.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is very limited.
Right.
Yeah. And then again, I think that maybe the first time we talked about this, or, this was kind of out there, that was not understood, I think, widely. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Each time we talk about it, we get better at the talking. Maybe we get better at the questions being asked. And we become more sophisticated, which brings me to what I'd like Andrew to talk about, which is part of helping people in this town make decisions about electrification and sustainability.
All right, thank you. Recently completed some training. Myself and another member of the Energy and Sustainability Committee completed some training provided through Heat Smart Alliance. Now, this is a nonprofit organization of volunteers, privately funded. They work with the Mass Clean Energy Center, and both of those agencies are dedicated to accelerating the growth of clean energy in Massachusetts. And Heat Smart Alliance in particular, promotes the adoption of energy efficient heat pumps in Massachusetts. So Greg Link, the other person on the board, and myself completed training, which was a 6-module training, about an hour and a half each module. We did that for 6 weeks, to become volunteer coaches to help spread the message and work with folks that are considering or need to update their heating HVAC systems in their residential homes. So we went through that training. We become volunteer coaches. We haven't coached anybody yet, but we have completed that and are available to do that. Heat Smart Alliance has I'm going to say a very deep roster of very experienced folks that trained us. Some of them even here in the Pioneer Valley, Amherst, Northampton, etc., Springfield. We plan on getting together just informal discussions on how things are going, and we also have them as local resources to help people determine what is the best course for them moving forward in terms of electrifying some of their heating or HVAC load.
If I could add to that, first of all, I need to thank both Andrew and Greg, who stepped up and added some additional responsibilities. This is something, my husband and I installed a heat pump a few years ago, and we had no guidance whatsoever on doing that. We were just struggling to find any information, and for the most part, a lot of the contractors who are in the area don't have enough information or experience doing it. So this is a really important part of helping to reach out and educate, and we're going to be providing Lynn with additional information to put into the town manager's newsletter. We'd like this to be on the website in a prominent place, at least for a while, but we really want to help demystify and also fight the misinformation that a lot of the local contractors provide. I know that when we were trying to get an estimate on what we should be doing, how we should be doing it, we must have spoken to at least 8 different contractors, all in the heating, air conditioning. 4 of them said, you never want to do that. We're not even doing that. It's ridiculous. You can't do that in New England. And then four of them all had different information and different costs, and we were just struggling to figure out what to do with it. So we really want to encourage people to transition ahead of time, not in an emergency situation, to make their house more energy efficient. And Andrew and Greg are able to coach people through, figure out how to ask questions, know what to do. It's a really invaluable service that we'll be able to offer here.
And I had a similar experience just about 10 years ago when I replaced my HVAC system. Bring in 3 contractors for estimates. What about heat pumps? Kind of scratched their head and, well, we really don't do heat pump, you know. So, but I think they're also coming around too, because they're feeling the pressure of state policies that are mandating. I don't know if mandating is the right word, but encouraging the conversion from fossil fuels, incentivizing. I think it's a much better word. Thank you. Yeah. So moving away from fossil fuels into electricity for your HVAC.
So would a resident be able to use your services or coaching?
Yes.
Is that kind of
That's
what
the idea, yeah.
Okay.
So if Greg and I are on the website, they could contact us, and we would use the training that Heat Smart Alliance provided us. There's a whole coaching handbook with suggested templates for initial emails and follow-up emails and all kind of different, of course, you know, you personalize it and you get to know people and what their needs are, but.
Well, thank you for doing that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a lot of extra time and hours that you had to put into it. I mean, I just know personally for myself, I would want to take advantage of that, and I have a ton of questions that I could have for you tomorrow.
Sure.
So, but no, I think that's great, and
One last piece of good news, and we just learned from the Green Energy Group that for the municipal aggregation, where Eversource went in and got a rate increase for the kilowatts for the next 6 months, our contract is, I think, almost 2 cents cheaper on the standard default rate. And I'll be going back to get some more information about the take-up of it. But I just think it's really important for the town to know that the work this board is doing with the support of the committees is actually saving people money. And so I think that's important in this day and age.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, and thank you for coming tonight, and for all that you do, just with all the different initiatives. You make a positive difference, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Don't let
All
any
good?
of my members off the board.
Thank
All
you.
right, we'll be in
Thank
touch.
you.
Thanks so much. Have a good evening. All right, we will now move to correspondence. Does anyone have any comments on the correspondence? Hearing none.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, I had one. I think there was a correspondence around the recycling with the cardboard.
Yes.
Facility. I know we talked about that a few months ago. Is there anything we can talk with Sean about from a DPW? I know we were talking about having to try to get somebody down there to help regulate and make sure we weren't having non-residents dump, utilize that. Is that still something we can talk about or that they're working on?
Yeah, so I have it covered in my town manager report that got uploaded late to this afternoon.
Okay, all right.
So you haven't had a chance to see it
No.
yet.
Okay,
But I'm
perfect.
happy to cover that then.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
All right. I'll pass it to you, Lynn, for your town manager report.
Okay, perfect. It's a long one tonight. A line painting contract was signed with K5 Corporation in the amount of $40,000 and some change for line painting. This includes painting of nearly 40 miles of road lines in Long Meadow. This is the plus sign arrows, the school markings, bike lanes, and other pavement markings. That work is weather sensitive, and the temperature has to be a certain degree, so it usually takes place sometime at a night during July or August, so that should be starting soon. An update on Reynolds and Greenwood Pool. Both pools opened on Saturday. They passed all inspections. The kiddie pool at Reynolds is going to open slightly later. When they were doing startup operation, they discovered that the pump for the kiddie pool was no longer functioning. They had to locate a new pump and then price it out. As soon as we have the pricing, it will be ordered. And then during the closing procedure on Saturday night, the 13th, it was discovered that the chlorinator at Reynolds Pool was not functioning and chlorine was unable to be supplied to the pool. So it necessitated that Reynolds Pool close on Sunday, June 14th. A new chlorinator was purchased and it's going to be installed this week. And the Parks and Rec Department's going to be meeting with summer staff to develop a better communication plan for residents and pool goers to inform them more timely of opening and closing updates, as we did have some failures with that communication method over the weekend on Sunday. I don't believe that there was proper notice provided to the public about the pool being closed and why. So we're working on that. And last week, a group of 8th graders from Williams Middle School came and presented to myself, the assistant town manager, and then in a separate presentation to the Parks and Rec Department for their Civic Actions project, which was regarding the Bliss Park tennis courts. It was really great to see the 4 members of the 8th grade class so engaged in something. I was really surprised with how much work they had put into it, including contacting vendors and getting quotes, and it was really great to see. So,
Did you tell them we're hiring?
We did inform them of the Parks and Rec Community Preservation application for the review of Bliss Park to start this summer. So hopefully they'll stay engaged in that. I'm happy to announce that the town was awarded a $60,000 grant through the FY26 Community Compact Municipal Fiber Grant Program. This grant was signed and submitted to the Division of Local Services on June 2nd. We were under a press embargo until Friday, so that's why we couldn't announce this earlier. It covers capital costs associated with adding redundancy to the town's existing municipal fiber network via our Municipal Fiber Resilience and Critical Infrastructure Integration Project. It focuses on disaster recovery and resiliency and is designed to solve 3 high-level priority vulnerabilities in our current digital architecture. A huge thank you to Assistant Town Manager Mike Barbieri and the Assistant IT Director Gary Blanchard for their help pulling this together. They were the lead advocates for this grant, and without them, we wouldn't have been successful. An update on the new water meter installation. So a contract was signed with Hydro Utilities LLC in the amount of $367,000. This is for the installation and retrofit of our new water meters. The substantial completion date for that work is June 1st of 2027. In total, that retrofit and installation amount represents approximately 5,616 meters. It's part of the overall water meter upgrade project. There is a separate contract and bonding for the actual purchase of the water meters. That was a prior project approved at town meeting, and the debt service was built into the FY 2027 water rates. The purchase of those meters, though, is $1.5 million, and it covers only about half the meters that we need. So DPW is preparing to bring an additional funding request to the fall special town meeting. It will come obviously to you all first for inclusion on the warrant, which would cover the second half of meters for purchase. And then in the coming weeks, residents with impacted meters will receive a communication with more information about what to expect. We're doing this in phases so that it's not an outreach to the DPW of 3,000 residents asking for their meters to be swapped out. We are trying to stagger it based on staffing availability and now with the new contractor coming on board to assist with this installation. You can go online and sign up for an appointment, and then DPW will schedule that for you. And then regarding the overflow cardboard, so as was mentioned during select board comments earlier and some of the correspondence that we've received, both my office, DPW, and select board have received complaints regarding the cardboard dumpster at the recycling center filling up prematurely before the weekend rush. The recycling center staff had been reporting this as well, and staff at the DPW were looking into this. In contact with Waste Management, they learned that the dumpster over 2 weeks had been missed pickup, and so what was causing the pickup happens on Thursday, and so by Saturday morning the dumpster was at or close to being full, and so it filled very quickly Saturday morning and people would get turned away then. So this has been rectified. Waste Management is back on schedule now. I'm not sure what led to the failure for those pickups, but DPW is paying much closer attention. The recycling attendant staff are paying much closer attention to that now that they know that Thursday is the pickup day, and it needs to be emptied no later than Friday so that they can accommodate the weekend rush. And in addition to that, when we did get outreach from 2 of the 3 residents, I double-checked the cart size because I wanted to make sure that they weren't going out of their way to bring something to the DPW yard when maybe they had a smaller size recycling container. And in 2 of those 3 instances, that is the case. So one of those people is waiting for a swap. The other one has not identified wanting a swap. So it's just something to consider as well. It's that sometimes they're not able to accommodate the recycling at their house because they have a smaller size recycling container. So certainly if you get complaints, pass them on because we could have another issue that we need to look into. Wolf Swamp Field mowing, requests for quotes were solicited and responses were received on Friday, June 12th. The DPW is going to move forward with the low bidder, who is Spring Valley Landscaping, at a cost of $1,315 per mowing. That includes the equipment, fuel, labor, and insurance. This is going to improve DPW's ability to maintain other areas of town and school property by taking this offline. As a reminder, this has been outsourced since it came online, but the bid that was out early spring was for both treatment and mowing. It came in double what we had budgeted. So we pulled the mowing out of the contract because the treatment and the overseeding and the aeration, that's stuff that we can't do. And we awarded that contract, and we thought we could bring the mowing in-house while we regrouped. That put a huge strain on the very small grounds crew, and they fell behind in a lot of areas of town. I'm sure you've seen it. We've seen it here, and just the upkeep has not been what we expect. And so this will help them get back on track. We did, as my report says, put this back out to get quotes, awarded to a vendor that is a different vendor than who's doing the treatment and overseeding. So we're hopeful to see that this will have a great improvement. The Bliss Clay Courts and the playground. Parks and Rec is beginning their work for the study of the clay courts. This will really hit the ground running in July when the funding becomes available from the CPA grant award that was voted at the town meeting. So residents can stay tuned for that. The courts are going to remain closed, though, throughout that process. There is no plan to put that out to bid and get those clay courts back up to speed. So we've heard complaints from people about the weeds growing there. That is likely how it will stay. We've talked about mowing it, but that will make the condition worse. It will spread out the weed seeds and just turn the entire area into a large overgrown bed. So if we do nothing, it is actually better than trying to mow it. We do not have the ability to maintain those clay courts. It's a specialty we don't have, and we used to outsource that anyway. But I am pleased to say that the surface for the playgrounds is in full-blown work this week. The contractor was mobilizing on site there today, and pouring is happening this week, so that should be wrapping up. It is fully on schedule. The contract is supposed to be concluded by the end of June, and we will meet that. I had heard that there were some earlier inaccurate dates being circulated that this was supposed to have been done by now. That is not true. The contract always said end of June. The grant goes through the end of June. We have a final inspection by the grant authorizer the end of June already set up. So really pleased to see that project happening. Last but certainly not least is the demolition of the old DPW facility. As you know, we put this out to bid. Responses were due June 9th. The attached memo in my report explains a lot more from the town engineer. But we are in quite a situation right now. We have a lack of funding based on bid responses. Our shortfall is about $600,000. So we are unable to award that contract at the moment, and we need to now decide what direction we want to go. So I will be looking for some sort of consensus or further discussion from you all on what to do. When this happened in a similar DPW project regarding the high school pool, I authorized the DPW to move money from different accounts to cover the cost so we could get that pool back online. But that was about 1/6 of the cost of what we're looking at here. And so if I were to do that again, it is a massive ask that will hit a lot of lines in the DPW to make up that $600,000. We would then really be taking a risk with needing to replenish those funds at the fall town meeting. I'm not sure that how comfortable I feel doing that yet. I wanted to get some feedback from you all. The other option is to call a special town meeting to vote on funding potentially from the operating stabilization fund. Not really sure where else we could identify $600,000 in funds to make up this deficit. Or the third option, at least at this point, is not to award the bid, wait until September, go back out to bid, see if we can get a better number, and then know that we have a town meeting coming up closer to when we would have bid results. The risk with that is our permits run out the end of this calendar year, and the likelihood of getting all this work done in the fall is not very good. So we are kind of in a peculiar spot at the moment, and we need to decide how we want to move forward. We cannot sign a contract until we have identified all the funding, and these bids are only good for, I believe it's 30 days. So we do need to make some decision.
Josh?
I do have some things I want to say with DPW. I'll get to that at the end. Thank you for addressing the cardboard and the mowing. I know I bugged you a couple times about the mowing it's very prevalent or noticeable at the baseball fields and from the community house. And you had a good answer on what was going on, and I'm glad it's been addressed. And it seems like DPW's caught up pretty well. It's noticed at our executive session, that side of the building. So that's good. For Bliss Courts, I agree that we shouldn't be touching it. It was money that was a luxury that I think that got out of hand. And this maybe is kind of silly, but maybe we should put that netting around, at least on the bottom of the fence, so people just can't see it. Out of sight, out of mind. I mean, I know people want to play there, but at least it'll be less of an eyesore while we're deciding what to do. Then on DPW, do we know that there's hazardous materials. Do we have to do something? Is there a timeline on when we need to demolish it?
The only time constraint at this point is the DEP permits. They will expire.
So they will expire, but when they expire, is there anything saying this building needs to be demolished or
No.
this? Okay.
No.
I mean,
Other than, we're paying more for insurance because it's an uninhabited building, but.
Not $600,000 or.
Right.
Yeah, as we wait, things get more expensive. It's never gonna be cheaper to demolish than it is now, but I'm certainly wary of blowing a hole in our budget already in the fall for next year. That's a difficult thing to do. Anyway, that's a bad spot, but I'm also, my initial instinct then, from your explanation is, I would rather not do that and wait. It's cheap, it'd be more expensive to redo any engineering and re-permit, but if we get in a spot where we've moved money around and then we can't replenish it, it's worse than the alternative, I think.
Thanks, Josh. Dr.
Thanks.
Lamb?
Lynn, what was the bid? 600,000 less than what is the bid amount again? Ballpark?
The low bid for the demolition came in at 2.256 million. There is a full memo that was attached to the agenda late today.
Okay.
Some of the reason for the late manager's report is because we just got these responses on Friday, and I wanted time to analyze it and include it in here, and then I needed more information on the pools for you from tonight, so that there was some time
When we did our
sensitive.
original bid, was it based on what we thought bidders at the time? I mean, what do you think is the reason why we're off by?
Sorry, so then the balance of the 600,000 is between the demolition costs of 2.256 and what we have available is actually only $62,000. However, we still need to pay for engineering related to oversight of the project that's required. It's $310,000. We have a contingency for change orders built in. Potentially, we could move that number a little bit, we have it at 10%, which is 225,000. So even if we did a zero contingency, which is incredibly unlikely, we're still short $400,000.
But when we did the town meeting amount for the warrant article, we included those things, right? The contingency,
Are you
the
talking about for the
engineering.
building itself, when the building project started?
I guess I'm asking why why we estimated too low.
So
What
when
was
they
what
did,
changed?
when the DPW project was, the debt authorization went to town meeting, I wasn't here, so I don't know what fully they had included in the demolition, but I know it did not include keeping some of that garage space. So that is what is also contributing to this cost, is some of that garage space
Really?
has to be kept because there's not enough room for the equipment at the new facility.
And
They-
it's able to be rehabilitated. It's
The
okay.
very
It's-
far end,
in
closer
good
toward the
shape.
recycling center, there are, I believe it's 2 garage bays, might be 3, that can be kept, yes.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
What are we doing with the rest of the space?
As of now, it would be just leveled and cleaned up. There's no future plans at this point.
Do we know if any remediation needs to be done? Like, take out existing
A little bit.
soil? Okay. Is that gonna-
And that's
that gets-
accounted for.
Oh, that is,
Yep.
okay.
And when was the mass permit expire?
The end of the calendar year.
Is it okay if does it have to be completed by then, or just started, or a contract has to occur?
I believe it needs to be completed by the end
Really?
of the calendar year.
And so what's the process for getting new permits, like the cost or timeline for that?
Don't know yet. I do think we need to have a conversation with DEP to find out what that looks like. If we have to redo it again, that would be massive. I mean, half the reason we're still having this conversation is because that process took an extra year and a half. I
Because
would
that
like to think we
involves-
wouldn't have to.
That involves like them assessing the site, and it's not just as simple as like,
It
knock
triggered-
it down and we approved it, just expired, we'll just approve it again. It's not simple.
Right, and it went further than DEP, it triggered MIPA, and there was an environmental justice population in Agawam that was within the mile radius. That was the mileage radius that was required to start the MIPA process. So that added a significant amount of time and cost.
But do you think that if they approved it like to expire on December 31st, they wouldn't readily approve it again for the next year? I mean, is it easier because they've already kind of studied it and nothing's changed?
Hopefully, but
We don't know.
Do they have extensions to permits?
They might.
Because I know like Concom has extensions for like their wetland permitting and stuff, so I'm just wondering if the state has very similar.
they might. It would definitely be a conversation we would be
Okay.
having. We just haven't had that chance yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that those pieces would be like really important before we make a decision.
I had a quick question on another topic, back up to the waste management. Just Lynn, from a contract monitoring perspective, like with waste management missing a few of these pickup dates, I think around town, there's been a few dates missing, so it's like a two-pronged question. One, do we have anything in the contract that would allow us to claw back any money from what we're paying them if they don't meet a certain like service level agreement? And then two, when they don't do pickups, is it possible for them to communicate with the town and we put a post like on our website, just letting people know, hey, a truck broke down, your trash isn't gonna be picked up? I think, and I'm only asking because I got a lot of questions in my neighborhood because our trash was not picked up for several days. And we didn't know why, so.
Yeah, so the recycling one at the cardboard container at the recycling yard is
Yeah.
a different contract than the curbside
Okay, so they're
residential
two
pickup.
separate, okay.
And so they have different clauses in them.
Mhm.
The curbside residential, there is a daily update from the driver or the route on what happened and what got missed, whether there were tags or not.
Okay.
And there is very regular communication between DPW clerks and the driver.
Okay.
So if something is ever missed, definitely call the DPW. We want to make sure your address is on there.
Okay.
It would be rare that we wouldn't know about something.
Okay. Yeah, because our whole neighborhood was missed for the weekend.
Usually gets on there that night. This was a big, when we first switched
Yeah.
routes or
Yeah, I
trucks,
just
this
didn't
came
know how
up
that
all
worked.
the time.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
It used to be a lot worse.
Any other questions for Lynn?
Yeah, thanks. Lynn, I just wanted to ask about the water meter installation and why we went about it this way, where we funded half of the purchases and are seeking the second half.
It was strategy to keep rates low, to not have it spike so much. I mean, it would have been a $3 million project at that point.
So then, if this funding request is authorized at town meeting in the fall, then that will necessitate another, like a water rate increase to
Yeah.
absorb that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But it would be in the next fiscal year, not in '27. This 1.5 is going to hit in fiscal '27, so your rates that you set accounted for this already. So when you get rates in March, let's say, it would account for something, a borrowing that in theory was happening this coming fall, but won't have debt service on it until fiscal '28.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, we'll go to the department monthly reports. Obviously, we're not gonna read through all of them. Any questions on these reports, comments? Seeing none, we'll go to old business, approval of meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll move to approve the June 1st, 2026 meeting minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Abstain.
Josh abstained, okay. We already went over the ratification of the police contract. And then select board town manager policy review. New financial policies, DOR, DLS best practice recommendations. Lynn, do you want to take this?
Yep. So, I'm sure you've all had a chance to look at this massive document. This, I can't get it to load. This is the first draft. There is a lot to this. Is Ian here? Okay. I will actually see if Ian can take this conversation over. He has done a phenomenal amount of work on this, and sat through the DOR policy update with us, for the town at their training, and then modeled their best practice policies to Long Meadow standards. So I'll kick it to Ian to just brief you on where he is with this.
Thanks, Lynn. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. So just a quick summary as to what this is. So this organizes the town's current financial policies as outlined in the select board management policies into a cohesive manuals between two categories, the financial planning section and the financial operations section. With the assistance of the finance team, myself, Jason Ducharme, Erica Brunel, Maria Cataldo, and Chad Thompson, we reviewed and updated applicable policies related to Long Meadow and what we currently have. This new tool overhauls the current policies using best practices put together by the state and the GFOA, which is the Government Financial Officers Association. Policies and policy making is an iterative process, and I know that we'll continue to make changes to this as we go on. However, this gives us a great baseline to go forward with. At this point, you see a draft version. Len and I are working on some of the finer details. We're going to finalize version in the coming weeks. If there's any specific questions or recommendations from the board, I will gladly take those, look into it, and then potentially implement them into the final draft.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks so much for all of your input and effort on this. It seems like a pretty heavy lift, if you ask me, so thank you. Any questions for Ian? Obviously, we'll be talking more about this in coming weeks. Seeing none. Thank you, Ian.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we will move on to the investment policy update. Lynn, do you want to take?
Good evening.
Oh,
Yes, and Erica
Oh.
Brunel, the town treasurer collector, is here, and she can brief you on why this is coming to you outside of the financial policy review.
Hi, Erica.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
We can. We can't see you, but that's okay.
I know, I apologize. I have to connect with IT tomorrow. I thought this was a Teams issue, but apparently it's now a Zoom issue. My camera just doesn't like me, but I apologize.
No
But
worries.
I'm glad you can hear me at least.
Yes. Thank you.
So I am moving this piece forward ahead of Ian's amendments to the financial policy in hopes that we can review just the piece about the investment. Because with the increase in funds coming through for the ban and more borrowings next year, our cash flow has exceeded what our investment policy is really capable of handling. So back in 2002, the select board had allowed an amendment to the investment policy to allow up to $20 million in one institution. And at that time, that was sufficient, but it is no longer sufficient to meet our demands. So I'm asking tonight that the select board will allow me to remove the monetary limit of $20 million in one institution and instead just maintain the 45% concentration limit. So a big piece of this to keep in mind is that this large cash flow that's coming in is due to the ban for the middle school and the water meters. So that those funds will be drawn down as the projects are underway, so we won't have this large cash flow all the time. But in order to accommodate the $72 million ban, it's really necessary for us to make this change. And I'm really looking to keep those funds in an institution that has FDIC and DIF coverage, because if we go to an institution that utilizes IntraFi, it would have an exorbitant amount of banks that would need to open accounts for us to keep under the $250,000 limit for just the FDIC. So just some of the really main features of this memo, but that is the explanation of why I'm coming forward today before Ian's adjustments, because we really can't wait beyond next week when we get the funds in for the band.
Makes sense. It sounds like certainly we've kind of outgrown the policy and a lot going on in town right now. Appreciate your work on this. Is this something, it sounds like you want us to approve tonight?
Yes, please, because our funds are coming through next Monday, so I don't want to be in violation of the investment policy.
Absolutely. Is there, anyone else have any questions on this one?
I have a question.
Andrew?
Is the thinking in your mind that it's a matter of convenience, in the sense that we have such large amounts of money coming in and it's just too much work to put it into different accounts? Or is it because there's like one best bank with the best interest rate and you really want to make sure we maximize that? I remember when we made this policy, I was on the finance committee, and obviously the reason to have it was in case like you didn't want to put all your eggs in one basket in case a bank failed or something like that. I'm not necessarily averse to it, but I just wanted to know what is the greater reason to do it.
No, so I absolutely would not put all these funds into one institution, as much as I would love to have just one account hold all of these bond proceeds, because it would make my life so much easier. It's not a safety feature that I'm willing to put on the town's back. The 45% concentration limit is there, and I think that's a very smart, I guess, like cap in order to use to make sure that should one institution go down, we do still have the concentration spread out. So it's really important that we do hold that 45% concentration limit. But taking into consideration that $72 million coming in doesn't even look at the cash flow we currently have. It's not a convenience, although there are some great rates at some institutions versus others. I think it's just a safety thing to make sure that we are spreading out our funds, but also making sure we can get interest rates that are necessary, but also having liquid funds at the same time.
Okay, and I guess one more question would be, what do you anticipate the highest account level would be? Like 45% of all of our proceeds, like are we talking like 60 million or 40 million in one account? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't even want to go that high. So even if I were to split up the 72 million coming through, and you say it's about 35,000 in each account, or 35 million in each account,
Some of that 72 has already been spent, so we will be able to get rid of that from the 2 large accounts. But I'm thinking even if it's 2 large accounts, and then we have other accounts that have close to 20 million in them, there's gonna be a good spread across different institutions. But I do also wanna look into at least one other local bank that has had FDIC and DIF coverage, and they're one of the top banks on the Veribank rating for our area. So they're one that I've been reaching out to and have been getting a relationship with that bank too. But I'd like to throw them into the mix of our portfolio because I think it would give us another opportunity to spread out some more funds on a very safe institution.
Can you tell us what the FDIC insurance coverage limit is for something like this? Like how much will they insure?
So for banks with DIF and FDIC goes up to $250,000. The DIF is anything beyond that.
So, and there's no limit?
There is not.
Oh, great. And one last question
That's
is,
why,
I'm sorry?
Sorry, that's why some of the larger banks get kicked out of that coverage because they get too large and they don't want to cover that.
I see. And one final question is, so obviously we've had this policy in place for a while, and it sounds like for these next several years, it's kind of like a special situation where we have, $70 million or whatever it is coming in for a middle school. Do you feel like after this time has passed, there's still benefit in going back to a policy like this, or do you feel, are you not concerned at all about going back to like putting a limit on each individual account in one institution?
I feel that the percentage concentration is a better monitor of our cash flow over time, whereas our cash flow is going to fluctuate. That percentage is going to fluctuate with it. And if you have a monetary cap, it's just more restrictive. But if you're following through on a percentage cap, it's just a safer and easier way to maintain those cash flows over time.
I'm sorry, I have one more question. If you do you feel like because I remember debating like this percentage, obviously you could be more conservative, it could be 30%, it can only be in one institution. What do you know about other towns and what they do? Is this 45% like a typical amount, or is it an outlier?
I honestly haven't done the research to see what other towns are doing, so I wouldn't want to guess on that.
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
I think I asked the same question 3 years ago, but thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I was going to ask a couple of Andrews, including that last one. I think that would be something good to know going forward. Unfortunately, we don't have time to do that right now while this money's coming next week. But I do feel that we see how much work Erica goes into in monitoring our accounts and the safety of our accounts. So I do feel comfortable with this. But I would like to know going forward if there's something we should do to, if there's something the board wants us to do to make it more comfortable, if lowering the percentage, something like that. But I do think that it does make sense to me that a hard cap is not indicative of where we actually need to be. So a percentage works for me.
Yeah, I would just echo some of those comments, and Erica, thank you. It could be very easy just to kind of leave things as they are, but you're taking the approach, always looking out for the best interest of Long Meadow and making sure that ensuring that these funds are safe as well. So certainly we don't want to mess around with potentially losing these funds with lack of FDIC coverage and so on. So I just do want to really thank you for bringing this up to us and staying proactive as you always are. And we'll certainly, as Josh and Andrew said, make sure we address this in the future as times change with funds and projects as well. So thank you again. And do I have a motion to proceed?
Yep, I will move to amend the investment policy, I'll move to amend the investment policy as recommended in the attached memo authored by our town treasurer.
Second.
Any further questions? All those in favor? All right. All right, and we'll go to new business. We'll talk about the ban approval.
There's also like a general policy.
Oh, geez, sorry about that. First, we'll go to the general policies review overview.
Yep, I'll take this one on. So this is pretty much just an update of, I think at the last meeting we gave an update on just how we have the matrix system set up in Google Sheets, just outlining the review that has taken place to date. Right now, there's a few recommendations, but none that we need to take action on today. It's just a few that you'll see highlighted in red. We're recommending that we either delete or we look at more closely just to figure out if there's something better that we can actually institute. Otherwise, some of them are duplicates what's already in our personnel manual, so those are items that aren't needed in both areas. Some have just kind of outlived their shelf life, like the telecommunications policy. It's very outdated. It was written in the early 2000s, and it really doesn't have any benefit to how we, currently, to our current practice. But otherwise, a lot of these that you'll see highlighted in yellow are going to get a deep dive from some specific departments who have some, I wouldn't say oversight on these, but they have some impacts to their functions. Others we have reviewed, and there's some initial recommendations, or there's no recommendations at this time based on the fact that you've either modified it within the last year or you made some modest amendments as the years have gone. So another reason why we wanted to bring this back was also just to kind of just get a temperature check to see if the board wants to take any specific ones on their own, or if you want to just kind of continue down this route of having us review, and we can come back with further recommendations as you see fit. But otherwise, we kind of just wanted to show you the overview of what was done to date, and obviously from there you can kind of take some of the recommendations and either make some suggestions, or you may have some suggestions of your own.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, this is a huge undertaking to be going through all the policies. I mean, that's a ton of work. I really appreciate Mike, all your work, and Lynn and the team. I'm just curious, do you feel like overwhelmed with what you're doing currently, or?
No, I think this was the easy, I would say easy, but this was the non-strenuous part. I think actually going in and starting to make the amendments to them and put the pen to the paper, that's probably going to be the difficult work. So I'll say the more help the merrier, but I don't know that we're prepared to do that yet, hopefully sometime this summer, but
okay.
Obviously we have to prioritize a lot of different projects, but.
Makes sense.
I think the biggest ones for us are the budget and financial policies, which are Ian's looking at, along with the rest of the finance department. So I look forward to hearing what we have there. I think that was the one that kind of spurred this on. And then reading through this, certainly, was it MySpace and Bebo?
Yeah.
I don't know what Bebo is, but I'm glad we're not referencing that anymore.
Yeah. Thank you.
We don't need to take a vote on this?
No, it was just kind of just a status update.
All right, thanks so much, Mike. Really appreciate it. So we're going to go to new business, the bond anticipation note, also known as ban approval. Is Erica again?
Yes, I'm still here.
Would you like to just talk about this briefly?
Sure. So we went out to bid for a ban. Short-term borrowing is what a ban is, and it's to cover the 4 projects highlighted in the memo: the middle school construction, the water main improvements, sewer improvements, and water meters. Those bids came back last Monday, and BNY Mellon Capital Markets LLC came in at the lowest bid with a net interest cost, or NIC, of 2.71995%. There is an attached spreadsheet that shows the other bids that came in, but they weren't quite as competitive. So we are looking tonight to get your approval and vote for, and I'm sorry, it is quite the vote. It's very long, but this is necessary in order for us to finalize the borrowing, which again, those funds would come in next week. So we're just looking for your approval on that ban.
All right, thank you.
And the new clerk gets to read it.
Are you serious?
Holy hell.
They're like hazing.
My goodness. I just want to say that Ian was kind enough to talk to me about this for a while today, and I was just looking at the policy and the bans, and I got more comfort with it as we discussed it. To me, it sounded like, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, the goal here was obviously, it was a pretty attractive rate, but it gets us to a position where we can do the major borrowing later altogether. But it's not without some risk, and I think it's important that we all acknowledge that. Like, we're basically just paying interest on this, and there's no principal being paid, and it might work out in our favor, especially if interest rates go down when we make the major borrowing, but it's also possible it could go the other way. Ian, do you want to share any other important comments on that, just for people's education?
Yes, so I'll respond. Just so people understand, traditionally when we do large construction projects like this, during the construction phase, we often do financing first in the form of short-term borrowings like this. So when we had the high school, when we had the DPW building, we did a similar thing. We borrowed short-term during the phase of construction, and then ultimately borrowed within a long-term borrowing once construction was substantially complete. Nothing has changed here. Andrew is correct that we do have some interest rate risk. I will note that we work with our financial advisors who monitor rates throughout the process, and what is helpful for us to understand is that every long-term project has the ability to issue what is refinancing, which we just recently took advantage of in the last couple of years with the Long Meadow High School, which saved us a pretty penny. So it is something that ultimately does have risk in the short term and also the long term, but it's something that is monitored.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
This is what I.
Read all of that? Yeah. Does he have to read all of that?
I believe so.
I feel like
That's how we've done it. That's how we've done it in the past.
I just.
Well, it's.
I think it says. It says past tense. Like the votes were unanimously passed. Is that correct?
There should be a document on. There's a document on the agenda that should be titled "Select Board Vote."
Let me look at that.
Yeah.
It says vote of the select board. Yeah, it's 2 pages.
Okay, hold on.
I think it's we hereby, so I move that we determine in blah, blah, blah.
We here.
I move that we determine in accordance with GL.
Okay, just skip the first paragraph?
Yes, skip the first paragraph
Yeah.
and start with determine, approve, etc. And
Okay.
these are all separate votes.
I got. Each one is a separate vote.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I move we hereby determine in accordance with General Law, Chapter 70B, that the cost of the Williams Middle School construction project, authorized by vote of the town, passed on September 9th, 2025, Article 1, and excluded from the limitation of Proposition 2.5, so called, by a vote of the town passed on September 30th, 2025, Question 1, being financed with proceeds of a portion of the notes defined below, together with all other bonds and notes of the town previously issued to pay costs of this project, does not exceed the portion of the total cost of the project that is not being paid by the school facilities grant, and we hereby approve the issuance of notes and bonds to finance this project under GL Chapter 70B.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
I move that we further vote to approve the sale of $71,464,601 4% general obligation bond anticipation notes of the town dated June 22nd, 2026 and payable June 22nd, 2027 to BNY Mellon Capital Markets LLC at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $914,782.62.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I move that we further vote that in connection with the marketing and sale of the notes, the preparation and distribution of a notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated June 2nd, 2026, and a final official statement dated June 9th, 2026, each in such form as may be approved by the town treasurer, be and hereby are ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted.
Second.
For discussion, seeing none, all those in favor?
I move we further vote that the town treasurer and the select board be and hereby are authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaking in compliance with SEC Rule 15C2-12 in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, which undertaking shall be incorporated by reference in the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I move we further vote that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to establish post-issuance federal tax compliance procedures and continuing disclosure procedures in such forms as the town treasurer and bond counsel deem sufficient, or if such procedures are currently in place, to review and update said procedures in order to monitor and maintain the tax exempt status of the notes and to comply with relevant securities laws.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I move we further vote that any certificates or documents related to the notes, collectively the documents, may be executed in several counterparts, each of which shall be regarded as an original and all of which shall constitute one and the same document. Delivery of an executed counterpart of a signature page to a document by electronic mail in a PDF file or by other electronic transmission shall be as effective as delivery of a manually executed counterpart signature page to such document, and electronic signatures on any of the documents shall be deemed original signatures for the purposes of the documents and all matters relating thereto, having the same legal effect as original signatures.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I move we further vote that each member of the select board, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
Mm.
Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to add one more piece that Mike did take the forms for me, the Judy's signatures. I just kindly asked if you could all sign them at the end of the meeting. We just need those to be submitted tomorrow. So I appreciate all you've done.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on. We'll do the 8th extension for the water agreement with Springfield Water Sewer Commission. Lynn, do you want to?
Yep, this is your annual renewal. There's been no changes other than updating the dates. Just renews the existing agreement from, I believe it's 2009, if I remember right. At some point, it will likely be updated to be a more current document, but right now, we're still moving ahead with just annual renewals.
That's what they said 8 times ago.
Yeah, and this one, as well as the sewer one that you're about to get next, have both been reviewed by town council.
I spelled the 8th wrong. That's a good start.
You're finding a lot of spelling errors tonight.
I know. I don't know. Like, what are we doing here? It's. We need to have another conversation with them, I think. I'd love to know what's going on with the construction that I only read about in the paper. You know, the findings. We're stuck. I mean, we have to buy our water from them. But, and I don't know if this isn't the venue to do it, because they will come talk to us if we want, I think.
Yes, they will.
But, yeah, this is just bringing up to me that I think we should have them in again to discuss what's going on, get an update, and talk about the future of our rates. But in the meantime, it's not like we can buy it anywhere else, so.
Yeah, and I think, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. And I think you know, our Senator Oliveira has filed legislation about giving communities that are part or get their water from Springfield a seat at the table as part of the commission. So I think that's something that I think, you know, I'm in support of. I think based on our conversations, I believe the select board of town is in support of as well. So this is something too that you know, if there's any kind of, you know, anyone who wants to go out and tell Senator Oliveira that they're in support of it, or tell their other legislators that are in support of it, I think it's important to do.
Didn't we sign a letter for that, in support? Okay, I was gonna say, if we didn't, we probably should if everyone wanted to, but thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. Thanks, Vineeth. Shelley?
No, I was just gonna ask about the same thing. How does a conversation like that work? And since other communities around us are in a similar position, can we collectively come together with other communities if they're willing to and have that conversation? Or kind of just not really sure how we do that, but it seems like we're in a bit of a non-leveraged position. So how do we kind of have a more leveraged position talking with the Water Sewer Commission? I know a seat on the board would be very helpful, but.
Yeah, I think that's I don't want to speak for the senator, but I think that's kind of the point of the legislation is to have a seat at the table. But previously we've had Springfield Water Sewer Commission come in front of us, and we continue to talk about even this agreement too, because we keep doing, so it's, but no, valid points. I think we all share some of this similar feelings.
To Shelley's point, I recently met with Jim Layden, who's on the East Long Meadow Town Council, and one of the things he's interested in doing is having more conversations between elected officials and on things like this.
Yeah.
So if it sounds like you want to do it, so I'll connect you.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I do think it makes
absolutely agree
sense
with you.
though, because if they can come and talk to us one-on-one, but I think when you're collectively talking to the surrounding towns and we're all asking for the same thing, and we're all struggling or needing something to change, it's easier. It's not as easy to say no when you're looking at multiple towns surrounding them. So I was just wondering how we could get that going.
I'll talk to you about it
Yeah, that'd be
outside.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great question.
Yeah, good points. Thank you. Do we have a motion on the amendment?
So we have to make an motion to accept this agreement or to
approve the 8th agreement. Yep.
Okay.
8th extension.
Can you still appoint you to sign?
Did I sign it last time? Yeah, that would be helpful.
What?
They never put the right signatures, so.
So you'll be signing it?
If you give me authority to.
Add that to the motion?
Yep.
Okay. So I make a motion to vote to approve the 8th Amendment to the Town of Long Meadow Water Supply Agreement, giving Lynn, the town manager, authority to sign contract.
Second.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, and now we'll go on to the amended agreement for wastewater services.
So this one did go through a much more substantial review. Myself, along with the DPW team, went over to Springfield and met with them. We went through this agreement with them and then subsequently had town council go through it as well. You'll see in here the changes that were suggested to be made, all of which town council was fine with. This one is not as intricate, however, it hasn't had a full thorough review in quite some time. There are some things that we should probably start talking about as a result of this, and some of that is most of that's for a different night, but this covers us from when our sewage gets to Springfield. There is a lot that has to happen before that happens. So that is on us.
Get to Springfield as in
Over
at
the-
the line at 91?
Bondies.
Even further.
Okay.
It goes under the river, through Agawam, and then into.
Oh, so our sewer line is that, okay.
Yep.
There and goes down.
Yeah.
Oh, so this only covers once it hits
Yep.
Bondi side?
Yep. Because everything else is ours. All that infrastructure is ours.
Hmm.
So we, at some point, you'll be hearing from DPW more on that, and then we should be having some conversations. I have given town council a heads up that we will likely be reaching out. This is one that there's a lack of at least historical records that we've been able to find that identifies easements and location, and
That's a big deal.
yeah, so this is one that will likely take many years to put together.
Do we work with Agawam on, do we have an agreement with them on maintaining lines that we shared?
We do not.
We should.
We
We
need
should probably do that too.
Yes. Yes, I left with more work from that meeting than I had going in, so,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's better now than after something breaks.
Yeah.
Whew.
Sounds like a
And
crappy job.
Are they of the same like age and maintenance as some of the other water sewer pipes that we're talking about that we've been kind of working on, or is this a different infrastructure?
This would, so, without getting into too much detail, once our sewer line connects on the other side of the river in Agawam, we merge together. And so that infrastructure is shared.
Okay.
Do we have a motion?
I will move to approve the amended agreement for wastewater services and to appoint the town manager, I think I saw some other ones, town auditor, and, or just all necessary town staff to sign the agreement to fully execute it.
Second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, next we will move to the FY 2027 general appointments, town council and labor council.
I will move to appoint Mead Tallerman Costa LLC as our town council for fiscal year 2027.
Second.
Any further questions? All in favor?
And I will move to appoint Sullivan Hayes and Quinn LLC as our labor council for FY 2027.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? And then we will move to setting the 2026 fall special town meeting date.
Point the text.
There's one more
Oh,
appointment.
jeez,
Yeah.
sorry.
I'll move that the select board appoint town treasurer collector Erica Brunel, tax title custodian through June 30th, 2027 pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 60, Section 77B.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All right, and now we will go to setting the 2026 fall special town meeting date.
So you'll see in the memo that we are suggesting November 17th. This date has been vetted by all of the people that need to be involved, which is a growing list, and includes the availability of the gymnasium at the high school. And then so we back up from there, all of the other dates that we're required to have met in order to get to that November 17th meeting. So the date that warrant articles are due, and then the date that it would come to you for a first draft, and then you would actually close the warrant on the 19th, and then it has to be signed and posted by November 2nd.
All right.
Yeah, I'll move to set the fall special town meeting for Tuesday, November 17th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Long Meadow High School gym.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All right, and do I have
I'll move we adjourn.
Second.
further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And I think we have to sign some papers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice job, Dan.
Thanks.
Yeah, good job.
Message you anyways about that, and it's been so busy, so.